Morning, squad. It's been a while. You're gonna have to excuse my dishevelled appearance. I've just woken up and I've been brushing my hair for the last 10 minutes trying to sort it out, but look at that. Wow. Wow. Man doesn't need a microphone because my hair's volume is insane. What is that? Like an anime character. I should be in a 90s girl band. Anyway, right. That's enough of that. I'm just going to have to find some acceptance with this. But look at what? Bro! Right. Okay, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Right, okay. Okay, bad start to the video. Right, start again. Morning team, it's been a while. 400 subscribers. Just wanted to say thank you to all of you who have taken the time to hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching any of the videos. If you've managed to take something from it, then that's absolutely fantastic. And I just wanted to do an update because I haven't dropped any videos for a long time, and just to explain why that is. I've been absolutely up against it. I've just been absolutely exhausted, flat out, had no energy, just in a period of time where every single scrap of my energy has gone into my work, because that has to take priority, because if you don't, then you don't eat, especially when you're self-employed. So every scrap of energy that I've had, all of my resources, has gone into work and producing my audiobook, Empty World. But I'm not going to promote my audiobook in this video. That's going to be another video where I can explain a little bit more in depth about what the principles of Empty World are and why I've produced an audiobook of the book that I wrote. And I just wanted to explain a little bit why I don't update very regularly, particularly at the moment. And that's because I became very aware that I don't have a very clear direction for this channel. I tend to just wait for the inspiration to rise in my mind, and if the inspiration feels good, I check it out a little bit, and if it feels good, then I make a video on it. And so for one thing, that inspiration just hasn't been rising recently. I think just because I've been a little bit fatigued, a little bit exhausted, and that creative energy just hasn't been there, but it's returning now, so who knows? Who knows? You might have noticed that my channel's a little bit all over the place in terms of the themes and the types of content that I put out there. And I became aware of this when I scrolled through my own video playlist and just saw that there's meditation videos, there's fitness stuff, there's AVRT, there's general motivation, and there's even some like funny skits and things like that. And I looked through and I realised that this channel doesn't seem to have an overarching theme. And it's been a bit of a dilemma for me, really, because personally I think things do work best when they have a unifying theme, and you should do one thing and do it really well. That's the best way to excel in life, to do well in life, is to focus on one thing and make that goal quite narrow. But although you could say that the channel kind of all falls under the general umbrella of personal development, health and wellness, health and fitness, it's a little bit all over the place. And if you look at individual videos, sometimes the message is directly conflicting. In meditation, we're trying to let go of any sense of striving to find meaning through achieving something physically or obtaining something physically. And yet in fitness, we're striving and doing a lot. So in the motivation, particularly the fitness motivation, we're trying to find the motivation to push hard and strive towards achieving that physical goal. So these two messages conflict. And when we have that dissonance, it's like a cognitive dissonance in our mind. And a cognitive dissonance is where we're holding two opposing opinions or beliefs simultaneously, which does happen and happens more often than you might think. It's a paradox. It's a paradox. So I'm in a dilemma because I don't know which message to push more, even though both are valid. So there's that. I'm just being absolutely transparent and honest with the cognitive dissonance, which might be the blockage and might be the thing that's in the way of me receiving that inspiration. Possibly, I don't know. Or I could just be exhausted, I don't know. Probably a bit of both. The other thing is, I believe that people should do and put energy and work into that which will provide the most good, that will do the most good, that will alleviate the most suffering and produce the most positive, loving outcome that's possible. And that seems to be my AVRT content, the content on addiction. My most popular video is the one in which I'm explaining and detailing the principles of AVRT and how that helped me to recover from alcoholism, and the AVRT emergency video as well, when you feel that craving, you feel that urge rising up, how to practice that AVRT in that moment to prevent that disaster from happening, relapse prevention. So it would stand to reason that really, by rights, if I was doing the right thing, I would be producing more AVRT content. One, because it's the most popular content on my channel, and doing things by the book and by the numbers would suggest that it might be a very good idea to focus on that, and it also could save some people from addiction, or at least begin them going in the right direction, start thinking about their addiction in a slightly different way, which is to say, your addiction is over the moment you decide it is. The moment you decide to stop drinking, it's done. The moment you decide to stop using, it's done. So it could potentially actually have that effect in a few individuals, that if I produced more of this AVRT content. The reason I don't want to do that is because it's a very difficult subject to speak on. It's a minefield because it's so simple, and when you get drawn into discussions or thinking about it or talking about addiction too much, you are just feeding the addiction. It's subtle, but it's a form of the addiction trying to raise its head again. Because when there's confusion and doubt, that's where there's an inch, and your addiction will drive a bus through an inch. So there is no confusion, there is no doubt. You just stop drinking, and you just decide to never ever do it again. And then it's the addictive voice that goes, yeah, but what about? Yeah, but what about this? What about that? Yeah, but it's an interesting discussion that needs to be had, and we need to have an interesting conversation about addiction and what causes it and where does it come from, and that's the addiction. That's the addiction talking. So if I start producing too much of this content, it's falling into that trap of perpetuating addiction. However, some very straight, hard-nosed, direct AVRT videos, I've got a few ideas for them, and maybe it would be maybe that would be the best thing that I could do with this channel. But yeah, I just wanted to update and just say exactly where I'm at with it, really. That's the dilemma that I'm in. I mean, the other part of the dilemma is I don't monetize any of this content. And it's surprisingly hard work making videos. You might see YouTubers and stuff making videos and thinking, why don't they just upload every day? It looks like a piece of cake. You just sit there, turn a video on, start talking. Man, it's easy. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. For one thing, you've got to get your hair sorted. And that's proven to be a much bigger challenge than I first thought. No, forget the hair. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of thought, not only to come up with the idea and then to produce it and then to make some rough notes and things perhaps, and then produce that content, to do it well anyway, it takes a lot of work. Not that I do it well, but it still takes work, and then it's hard to upload it, and then you've put yourself out there then, and it stays on your mind for a couple of days when you've uploaded a video, because you're constantly thinking, oh, I'd better just check and see if there's been any comments, or check and see if there's been how that video is doing, which can be exciting, but it can also be it can be quite draining as well. And anything that is using some of your resources, some of your energy, you need to look at and look at why you're doing that, and are you getting anything in return from that? Even if it's just a sense of satisfaction that you're doing something good, that you're doing something right, but are you getting that from it? And if not, why are you spending your energy in that area? And I've become very aware of the energy it takes to produce these videos and produce content for, I mean, I can't monetize the channel yet, but I just watched this subscriber count going up. I feel a bit guilty because I haven't been producing anything, and yet this subscriber count's going up. And at 1,000 subscribers, I can monetize the ting, and well, then I might be able to produce a bit more. But that's going to take some dedicated time and effort in order to do it. So I'd have to make that decision that, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some more time, energy, effort, and resources into making content for the YouTube. My other idea was to maybe start a Patreon or maybe a Twitch or something like that. Pick one subject and then focus and laser vision in on that. I'm just letting you into my thought process at the moment, what I'm kind of dealing with, trying to sift through so that I can choose the best way forwards with this. Because at the moment, it's almost random. The inspiration comes in, I make a video. And it's been very useful to see what kind of content works, and watching it back, and I can assess my own delivery and assess my own content and use it as a tool to develop better and become better at the craft. So it's been very useful, and I know a lot of these videos have been helpful for a lot of people. But where to go from here? Where do we go from here? It's exciting, because I have choice paralysis. I have too much freedom, which is a nice problem to have. Talk about first world problems. I have too much choice, and that can be paralysing. So what to do? What to do? Focus on the ABRT, focus on the fitness, focus on the meditation, or change track completely and go down the creativity route. That's the dilemma. I don't know. I don't know. I can't force a decision. In life, I always just wait for that inspiration to hit and then go full throttle on that. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. Anyway, 400 subscribers. Thank you all so much for sticking around if you've been with me for a while, and thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button if you're new. Let me know in the comments. I hate saying it's such a cringy phrase, but let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts or ideas on what content to produce. It would be interesting just to get some feedback on this one. I don't ask for it often, but if you've got any ideas on what you've connected with or resonated with, but don't say invest in a better hairbrush or get a haircut, because I'm going to go and get an emergency haircut now. Shocking. Have a great day, team. As always, you still have time.